TV shows and video games often collide together in what can only be described as a f***ing mess. I mean, look at Neighbours the video game. Look at it and see the true face of despair. Yet, even in this absolute swamp of quick cash-ins and bizarre titles, there shine a few real gaming gems. So why don't we tune in and see what the developers of the past wowed us with in an effort to expunge the memories of games like The Simpsons Skateboarding, The Lost Game, f***ing Fester's Quest, oh f*** me, that game was outstandingly ass. With this in mind, I'm Jules for WhatCulture.com, and these are the 10 best video games based on TV shows. Oh, and seeing as I'm a generous sort, I grabbed some of the lads from their gaming channel to voice their opinions, because sharing is caring. Also, it splits my workload. Number 10, The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Batman the Animated Series was a whole lot of yes. The art style, the voice acting, and the stories contained within this short-lived but much-loved collection were sublime. And luckily, The Adventures of Batman and Robin for the SNES followed suit, being an outstandingly striking game both in terms of style and sound. And yes, I know there were loads of versions of this game, but the SNES one had the best soundtrack, and if you disagree with me, I'll beat you with my shoes. The level variation and fiendish difficulty would see countless hours willingly sunk into this game as players battled against Batman's rogues gallery in engaging contests of strength across Gotham, and it's just such a well-crafted brawler that it's really held up well. Plus, you got to use a lot of Batman's gadgets, so that was pretty neat.
Number 9, Robot Wars Extreme Destruction for the Game Boy Advance. I fucking love Robot Wars. The rebooted series makes me feel like a kid again. And speaking of being a kid, I sunk so much time into Robot Wars Extreme Destruction for the Game Boy Advance, it was borderline unhealthy. Based on the 1998 to 2004 run of the BBC TV show, you could play as one of 16 real robots from the show, build your own robots and build your own arena, all in full 3D. On a Game Boy Advance, that was cutting edge. With modes ranging from simple one-on-ones to full tournaments, 4 robot free-for-alls, and even 3 AIs all against you, there was so much this tie-in title had to offer. Even with custom robots and a large selection of pre-existing ones available, I was always Chaos 2. He's a good boy. There was also a version of Extreme Destruction released for the Xbox and the PC with better graphics as you'd expect, but you couldn't stick that one in your pocket now, could you?
Number 8, South Park: The Stick of Truth. This could not be further from the mess that was South Park 64. This is a game with confidence in itself, a game which rivals the show in many ways and in some cases goes even further. The concept of taking control of a custom character and letting them roam through the insanely and utterly non-PC world of South Park is a joy. And with Trey Parker and Matt Stone's writing and acting chops behind it, it does an incredible job of making you feel like you're in the show. I, along with many, didn't expect Stick of Truth to be as good as it was. But I lost hours to this love letter to the series. Plus, I don't think I've ever had as many I shouldn't be laughing at this moments in any other game to date.
Number 7, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. An original Xbox exclusive, the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer game was pretty much the reason I picked up Microsoft's console back in 2002, and boy was it worth it. You know what, forget Halo.
What?
This supernatural beat-em-up, set during the 3rd season of the show, was just as much of a system seller, and managed to be one of the rare TV cash-ins that not only wasn't a disaster, but had gameplay, characters, and a story which could compete with any other popular release on the market. With the exception of Sarah Michelle Gellar, every major cast member from the cult TV program reprised their roles for the game, which, along with a surprisingly strong narrative at the heart of it, made the title feel like a season of the show in itself. A sequel, Chaos Bleeds, was also pretty damn good too, boasting more playable characters than the titular Slayer and improving on the core combat, but it didn't quite have the polish or the novelty of this definitive original.
Number 6, the Disney Afternoon Collection. It's a bit of a cheat here, but I am going to use the recently released Afternoon Collection to sneak 6 games into one entry. This really is the pinnacle of old school gaming based on your favourite Disney kid shows. Darkwing Duck, Chip and Dale 1 and 2, DuckTales 1 and 2, and I guess Tailspin is here as well. That kind of sucks, that one. If you're going to play any of these games, then do them in this collection, as you get a ton of additional content, boss rushes, and time trial modes, and everything has been cleaned up and tweaked to look as pixel perfect as your nostalgia remembers. If I was to choose the best of the bunch, then it would clearly have to be DuckTales, which not only sees you go to crazy places like the Amazon, Transylvania, and the f***ing moon, but plays just so goddamn well. pogoing around maps will never get tiring, and if you're not too keen on this old school nature of it, then try DuckTales Remastered, which does away with all these retro graphics and shit and looks sweeter than diabetes. Number 5. WWE Smackdown Here Comes the Pain. Okay, so I am massaging the rules again on what constitutes a TV show, but let's face it, the early to mid run of wrestling games made for the WWF and E respectively are f***ing outstanding. Treading the line between over-the-top action and arcade brawler, these games were perfect exercises in man-on-man action that would make even your dad blush. But if I'm to choose a favourite, which is like choosing which of my attic children gets to eat tonight, then it's got to be Here Comes the Pain. The reversal system was tighter, the match types more ludicrous, and the animations were borderline comical in the best possible way. You could see damaged limbs and go to work on them, and it was the first game in the Smackdown line to include legends of the past, making for some truly iconic matches. Matches like Hillbilly Jim versus Viscera in a Hell in a Cell match. Absolute classic. Number 4. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. Oh, this fucking game! This goddamn game. It was so much fun to play. Konami, back in the day when they had sense and weren't fascinated by making pachinko machines instead of actual Silent Hill titles, brought this arcade darling to consoles. This is a game where story isn't important. It's all about style and gameplay, which this game fucking nails. With its best version being the port to the SNES, again, this is me wearing my Nintendo hat, we got extra levels which made the most of the console's Mode 7 forward scrolling effect, 5 new enemies, time trial and versus mode, and let's face it, one of the snazziest soundtracks ever to exist. With all 4 turtles ready for selecting, each with different attacks, this is pure nostalgic joy which still holds up as strongly as the shells on their adorably violent backs. Just do yourself a favour though, and don't buy the reshelled version, as that is hot tetanus. Trust me on this. Number 3. Transformers Devastation. Whenever you see the words Platinum Games on any title, you know you're in for a good time. Formerly Clover Studios, these guys have had their mittens on Beautiful Joe, Vanquish, Bayonetta, and Wonderful 101 to name but a few. And if you know these games, you know what to expect from Transformers Devastation. Bombastically colourful, over-the-top action, and always trying new things to make combat as knuckle-bleedingly exciting as possible. Devastation looks the part as well, basing a lot of its style on the original animated TV show. There's iconic sounds, and the feeling of switching to vehicle mid-fight to deliver an extra blow is immense. Squaring off against Decepticons as an OG Optimus P is as close to living my childhood dreams as possible, so thank you Platinum Games for delivering big with this bot basher.
Number 2, Sheepdog and Wolf. Of all the brilliant Looney Tunes games, and there have been some corkers, Bugs and Taz Time Busters, Looney Tunes Racing, none are more special and charming as Sheepdog and Wolf. Based on a limited run of cartoons starring Ralph Wolf and Sam the Sheepdog, gameplay consisted almost entirely of solving a variety of puzzles, centered on stealing sheep from right under Sam's big wet nose. Just look at him, the big idiot. I mean, you can't even see what I'm doing. I'm just stealing all of his sheep. Just look at that. Hiding in bushes, rigging explosives, catapulting yourself around the place on elastic bands, or riding rockets to find new infiltration methods, no game has ever encapsulated that freewheeling, what's gonna happen next style feel of an average Looney Tunes episode. Gorgeous animation and a cel-shaded look is only topped off by cameos by Porky Pig and Daffy Duck helping you out along the way. This is the best Looney Tunes video game ever made, and it is still very much playable to this day.
And number 1, The Simpsons Hit and Run. At the heart of it, Hit and Run is a playful version of GTA, one which enabled players to take control of the likes of Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Apu as they hit the streets of Springfield to foil an alien plot forged by Treehouse of Horror's regulars Kang and Kodos and restore normality to the town, or what constitutes as normality for The Simpsons. If this doesn't sound like a great time, then you are officially dead inside, as this is without a doubt one of the most silly and fun experiences you can have with these melanoma masses. It doesn't try and hide its inspirations, instead it doubles down on what used to be The Simpsons' strongest point, the comedy. Everything in the world will provide a smirk, and while you might not care for the repetitive missions, you can lose hours pissing about in Springfield, unlocking new vehicles or secrets as you go. If we were to give this game a rating, it would be a 4 out of 4, and if you don't get that joke, well, you can go f*** yourself. And that's our list. Let us know what other great TV shows were made into pretty okay games down in the comments section below. Then why not swing by WhatCulture.com for more news and articles like this every goddamn day. As always, I've been Jules.
And I've been Scott.
And I've been Josh.
And I've been Rich.
Bye!
Gosh, can you believe that person said that about that particular video on that entry? I sure can't. But you should like, share and subscribe below anyway. And also, the people who made this video, they're right here. Go follow them and give them some love. Also, there's more content, probably above my head. Check it out. Or don't. 50-50.